Bacon and eggs?
Bacon and eggs.
How do you like your eggs?
I like them scrambled, really.
Okay. Do you add cheese or anything like that?
No cheese. No cheese.
Straight up just butter and eggs.
Onions and sausage.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, man, you're speaking my language now. I do one meal a day. I used to weigh 244 pounds. Right. Mostly just meat and one meal a day, and I stay fit and I go to the gym. And
what is that, Mediterranean diet?
Carnivore.
Carnivore, okay.
Yeah, I'll cheat one day a week and maybe have some pizza, fruit, or something like that. But it works for me.
Yeah,
I've tried so many different things. Okay, so we are recording. We're live right now. Just going to double check the camera. Mm-hmm. Measure twice, cut once, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. Okay, so here we go. Recording. Triple check. All right, I'm going to play some music, do the introduction, and we'll get right at it. Let's see if this is at a proper level. Hello and welcome to Morning Fuel. I'm your host, John Bundy, and you are here because you believe in the power of the spoken word and its ability to change lives, and that by sharing our stories, we can help other people overcome challenges that they cannot overcome on their own. Whether it's a victory you need to win in business or in your own personal life, you understand the answers can be found in listening to others who are willing to share their stories, knowing that their story ultimately doesn't belong to them. All right, today's guest is a master of weaving connections and elevating brands through the power of strategic marketing. With over 2 decades at the helm of Atlantic Logo Wear, he has carved a niche as an expert brand strategist, helping businesses flourish through innovative marketing programs. Specializing in custom embroidered and screen printed apparel, along with branded marketing products and appreciation marketing, he has a proven track record of crafting creative solutions that drive business growth. Beyond his entrepreneurial ventures and branding, since 2015, he has also been the driving force behind the 212 Referral Network, an organization dedicated to fostering a community of like-minded business professionals. This network is not just about exchanging referrals. It's about providing members with overwhelming value and unparalleled business opportunities. His mission has propelled the network's expansion across Central Virginia, aiming to reach even further. His passion doesn't stop at business growth. It extends to connecting people and building lasting relationships. His work in networking is about creating a supportive environment where professionals can thrive through personal and professional development. Please help me in extending a warm Morning Fuel podcast welcome to a visionary in both the branding and networking worlds, the owner and president of Atlantic Logo Wear and the founder of 212 Referral Network, Andy Fulghum.
John, thank you so much for having me on your show. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, dude. I've been looking forward to this for a couple years. I've been in and around 212 for about 3 years.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, man. So very, very much looking forward to this. Love your organization and excited about the chance to ask you some curious questions. So I've been around the organization. We've broke bread together with the leadership team in Newport News a couple years ago, and then we just had an awesome all-hands meeting. I got to meet some people I've never met before from
fun.
Different places. Yeah, amazing, dude. And actually some folks from right around the corner in Yorktown that I never even knew were my neighbors. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful thing. So Atlantic Logo Wear, you started there. You didn't have 212 before that. You've been
correct.
A business owner and attending other networking organizations and stuff like that. What did you do before that? What was your profession before owning a business?
Well, I worked for a company you've probably heard of. You remember that advertisement years ago for Men's Warehouse? It was George Zimmer going, "You're going to like the way you're going to
like." Yeah, I love this voice, dude. Just smoked a cigar.
Yeah, I worked for George for many, many years in Dallas.
So you knew George?
Oh, yeah, very well.
Okay,
still
so
a mentor of mine.
Dallas, Texas. Oh, he's still living?
Oh, yes.
Wow, cool. Wow, man. So how what was your age when you started in with the Men's Warehouse?
I want to say I was 35.
Okay. Okay. What did that teach you? And then how do you, well, I can kind of see the connection because it's still in kind of fashion, but how do you go from working for Men's Warehouse that's like suits and shirts and ties and slacks and all that stuff to screen printing?
Good question. George, obviously, he's in the clothing business. And here's what a lot of people don't know about George is that he's a big proponent of entrepreneurialism. In other words, he is he really, really wants to help people start their own businesses. In fact, he does commencement speeches at universities around the world. He does these speeches on entrepreneurialism at colleges. So I would pick him up at the airport, and he'd want to tour stores, right? I had 26 stores in the Dallas.
Tour his stores, okay.
Yeah, he'd want to tour the stores. Very hands-on kind of guy. So we would tour these stores, and along the conversation, and we did this for years. He'd always say, you're doing a great job if you want to, but if you really want to make some money and make a name for yourself, you need to have your own business. So after years of hearing that story, when I
years as in how many years did you work for Men's Warehouse?
14 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
That. So after years of hearing that, finally, and I guess it was 99, I punched out. And of course, George is in the clothing business. So he set up some avenues for me in the clothing business, and that's when I started Atlantic Logo Wear. Started as just a clothing, we would screen print on T-shirts and other apparel items. And of course, we did embroidery, custom embroidery. But he set up some channels for me that really gave me an upper kind of a competitive edge.
That's
if you will.
fantastic, man. So you felt like you were taken under his wing, and this guy really cared about your success.
Very much so. Very much. It's still a huge mentor of mine.
Does that spill over into kind of how you operate your business now and your philosophy when it comes to other people working for you?
A great deal. Such a people person, and that's your business is people. It's not necessarily the goods and services, but it's everything is a people business.
Yeah. There's a line. So we love. I love. That's one of the reasons why I love origin stories, to see how Peter Parker turned into Spider-Man and like that. And a big part, identity, your identity. I think each of us was born with a plan, and if we kind of try and tap into what that plan is, it'll take us far.
Yeah.
And we'll actually get to live our dream, and we'll get to help more people than we could have if we didn't follow that plan. Mm-hmm. So that's very important to me. So cool. So as you're seeing young people coming up working for you, do you have that ability to kind of see this is what you really need to be doing?
Well, I think one of my gifts is to inspire. I love to inspire, especially young business professionals, whether that's they want to thrive in their career or they want to do something on their own, as an entrepreneurial form. I love to inspire these people and help them think outside the box a bit,
right,
and watch them flourish. So that's
so you probably are able to kind of, with your spidey senses, pick up, you're not in the right position, because I see you light up when you're around this.
That is so true, and I would tell you this, that I think I see the good in just about everybody, and I see everyone's potential, and when I believe in them, and I genuinely believe in them, it tends to it can ignite them, and I love that when you believe in somebody and they finally understand that, it takes them to the new level. It breaks them out of their shell and lets them just go crazy. So
now you have children.
4.
Okay, so I've got 2 girls, and I understand when you see your children's talents and their gifts and things like that, and you're trying to pour into that. It's one thing hearing it coming from dad, but it's another thing to hear it coming from an employer or even a stranger that notices something about you that reminds you of what your dad was trying. If you had a good one, right? Or even a so-so dad that sees your potential, but you kind of like, Dad, I don't want to.
Right.
So you get to see them get it.
Yes, and I think even more so in 212. When I sit down with people and help them understand how powerful a referral can be. It's just amazing to watch them finally get it and see what they can do with it.
Right.
And so it's very gratifying.
That's fantastic. So speaking of 212, that's how I first came to know of you and loved it from the moment that I went. I started going to Newport News when it was a small group. It was maybe about 8 people showing up at a local realty company, and just knew immediately that it was different from other networking groups. You were involved in other networking groups before 212. We won't mention any names,
Right.
but what sparked you to start your own?
Well, to go back just a little bit, when I worked for George, I was a regional manager for Men's Warehouse, and so I had lots of managers that I had also. So I got all of them involved in networking, Chamber of Commerce, and of course there's a few other referral organizations available in the Dallas area that got them all involved in. So I saw it work. I saw how it worked. Then I got involved, of course, and got into a management level with there as well. It's kind of a volunteer position, but still a managerial type of position. With 2 other organizations there. Then I, of course, moved back to Virginia, born and raised in Virginia. We all come home, they say. So I finally came back to Virginia and joined another referral organization. After, by the way, doing some extensive advertising for my new business, which did very little. So I spent what I would consider a good amount of money on traditional advertising that just didn't do anything. So I had a friend of mine said, well, you need to check this out. So I did join this referral organization. It worked out extremely well. Was a part of that organization for about 13, 14 years. And then here's the thing. We started hemorrhaging members. In our all-time high, we had over 900 members, which is, for that area of Richmond, Virginia, was quite a bit. But here's the thing. When you meet with these people every week for years, they become like family members, like really good friends. So when one leaves, it really tugs at your heartstrings. It's like, wow, John, you can't leave. What are you thinking? You can't leave. So it's very disheartening when a member leaves. So we had this hemorrhaging these members. We went from like 900 members in less than a year down to 470 in that area. So we lost half of our members. So it took me back a bit. So there's probably several factors for that decline. But long and the short of it was I got a little frustrated with it. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do something myself and put a few things in this model that I believe in. And it turned out that it worked out so well that we had people going, well, I want to start one and I want to start one. And that's how 212 started.
All right. There are 2 stories I've heard before, but I think it would benefit my listeners. One is the slap on the shoulder you got story.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I was with this other referral organization, the one guy I'll never forget, I was in charge of several chapters, we call them. I was in charge of one, and one gentleman, he was very specific in the meeting, which is good to be specific. He said, I'm looking to meet Sam Smith with ABC Company. And my hand went up. I said, I know Sam. I'll be happy to introduce you to Sam. So I did. I made that connection. I didn't think much of it, went on about my way. And of course, 4 to 6 weeks go by again. I have to revisit this chapter. And so I do. And of course, we go through the meeting. At the end of the meeting, we all stand up and we're walking out towards the door. And this made such an impression on me. That same gentleman that I gave this referral to about 6 weeks earlier approached me very abruptly. I'll never forget it. He slapped me on the shoulder. That referral you gave me last month, man, $35,000. Thanks. And out the door he went. And I was just so taken aback by that. And here's why. And I'll back up and say this. If he had approached me a little more heartfelt, and said, Andy, that referral you gave me last month, man, it was $35,000. Thank you. That would have been just fine. But the slap on the shoulder and out the door he went, he just didn't thank me properly.
Sure.
So I never forgot that. And I thought, wow, gratitude has got to be bigger. Gratitude has to be more prominent within an organization to really succeed. So gratitude is a big deal in 212. It's a major focus. And I can kind of explain, I'll just go back just a little bit here. But the first time I saw the power of gratitude.
That's the other story that I wanted to hear. Tell me about your...
The first time I ever saw the true power of gratitude had to do with my son, Cameron, and going back into, I think it was 1998. And I had taken him to the zoo. We were having Father Sunday at the zoo.
How old was he at the time?
4 years old.
4.
He was 4. But we always have a great time at the zoo. Loved it. It was a beautiful day. We climbed the rocks and go to the exhibits and all that. And we had a really great time. So as we're leaving the zoo, we're going out through the main gates. There's a couple of vendors out there. And there was an ice cream vendor, I remember, and there was a balloon vendor. So I said, well, I'm going to go for Father of the Year award here. So we each got a chocolate ice cream cone, and I took him over and I got him half a dozen balloons, right? He's having a great day at the zoo. So we're sitting on this bench, my son and I, his name's Cameron. And, we got our chocolate ice cream cone, and he's got his balloons, great day. By this time, a young lady and evidently her daughter sit on the opposing bench right across from us. So I lean over to Cameron and I say, I saw this opportunity to be a good dad and say, a sharing lesson. Why don't you walk over there and give that little girl a balloon? And he looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, oh, these are my balloons. And I said, Cameron, you have 6 balloons. You certainly could part and give her just 1 balloon. So he looked at me very disheartedly. It's like, oh, okay. So he trudged over, to the little girl and just half-heartedly extended a balloon. Would you like a balloon? Just that kind of deal. And the little girl just lit up like a Christmas tree. She absolutely illuminated. Oh, yes, I would love that balloon. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I get a little emotional even thinking about it. But my son was so taken aback by that. He walked back to the bench. I handed him his ice cream cone. He didn't say a word. He was just kind of sitting there holding his balloons. And by this time, there were more children walking by, and he just popped up and went, hey, you want a balloon?
Yes.
Hey, would you like a balloon? So what started as a lesson in sharing became a lesson for both of us in gratitude.
Yeah.
So I just never forget that. And to this day, he's just loaded with gratitude.
Super cool.
So it made a lasting impression on me. Gratitude is truly a sentiment that is incredibly powerful.
Right. Wow, good times, man. So we have the stories that I think that affect me the most, and Morning Fuel podcast was born out of that adversity that I had, that I kind of adopted through prayer and then lots of studying and researching on morning routines. So my morning routine became a fuel that would get me through the day, along with my faith. And so the what the fail, so the WTF of the show, you've run into some adversity over the years. Is there one in particular you can share that's like a mountain that was in front of you that you were able to face, go around, go over, go through, go under? Anything like that you can share?
One piece of adversity. I would tell you that there was a time when I first left corporate America. That's a scary leap, by the way, to leave corporate America. You get that check every 2 weeks, right? Yeah. And so it's a comfort, something you can rely on. But when you go into business for yourself, you don't have that. That safety net is gone. So we got, we had to dip into savings. We had to dip into the 401k. We had to tighten the belt a bit on the budget, and it got very difficult. I remember, there was bologna sandwiches nights. So it got really tough, but, I had faith in the business. I had faith in myself, faith in God, and we got through it. We finally got through it, but it came down to, especially my wife saying, I think we need to go get real jobs.
Yeah.
We need to go get real jobs.
That's tough.
And to be quite honest, I probably should have at the time because things got really rough.
Sure.
But I did persevere, made it through by the skin of my teeth, truly.
Yeah, we were at the point several times, and you probably were too, and I think there were many others that are, that, it was the jam sandwich.
Yeah,
the two pieces of bread jammed together, no bologna, no, yeah.
Yes.
So I totally get it, man. Wow, yeah, somebody needs to hear that because they're in the middle of that right now.
Well, those people in 212, I was telling people that there's the kind of three types of people in 212, and there's people that are just trying to put food on the table. And then there's that next level. There's people who are trying to maintain their current lifestyle, which that's fine. And then there's some people that are just knocking it out of the park, and they're doing exceptionally well, and life is grand.
Right.
But my concern, my heart really goes out to the people who are trying to put food on the table.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
And the referrals they can get, and the relationships that they build if they stick with it.
Yes.
And they need our encouragement to look, just hang on. You've only been a part of this for a month. It's not going to happen overnight. Stick with it. Maybe you do need to get that part-time job, but keep doing your business. And you know what? Eventually you're going to have the relationships. You just have to stick with it.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
And what I found also is 212 is not only just a source of referrals and camaraderie, but it's a place that you can plug into where it's like-minded, a lot of like-minded people there who know what you're going through and know the story.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of, you plug into that once a week, you can get your charge, and deal with, and you get the benefit of wisdom that all these people have been through so many things, and they share it with you. It's just
collective
invaluable.
Wisdom. And then you wind up, you can't wait to get to the meeting because you're going to get to see so-and-so.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's
fantastic.
We always want people to, you never sit on the end of the bed and go, oh, do I want to go to this meeting? We want people to sit on the end of the bed and I can't wait to get to this meeting.
Right. Get up early, get there early.
Right.
That's
They're
fantastic.
excited to get to it.
So before I ask my last question, how do folks reach out to you to get involved either with Atlantic Logo Wear or with 212?
212, you just go to 212referrals.com.
And it's spelled out, right?
Correct. Good point.
2WO
12, TWELVE, referrals, and it's plural, referrals.com. So 212referrals.com.
Okay.
For Atlantic Logo Wear, it's atlanticlogoware.com. Check out all the goods and services.
Keeping
we
it
offer
simple
there.
for us. And you're also available on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, big fan of LinkedIn.
Oh, I love LinkedIn, man. The connections I've made. I've actually, when I was the media chair for Newport News, few simple little posts, little videos of the mentor moment and the member spotlight. And next thing you know, in walks a guest. He was there first. So I was there. I usually get there really early. I'm of the same philosophy as you are, and that is, look, if you're always early, you'll never be late.
Right.
If you're on time, you're late. So I get there early. I'm usually there first. And in walks someone I've never met before. And he saw me. He recognized me because it was the post came from my and I was like, oh, you just found us on LinkedIn and came. Yes. And that's happened multiple times through Facebook and LinkedIn. So very, very excited about that.
Well, you're somewhat of a celebrity, John.
Yeah, right. I got the face for radio is what my wife said. That's why I was like, darn it, babe, I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to have my own radio station. So, all right, last question. Last question is this. Okay. Andy Fulghum, all right? You're owner of Atlantic Logo Wear, founder of 212, this magnificent referral network. What do you need most right now?
What do I need most? More opportunity to help more people.
Oh, come on, man. That's what I'm talking about.
That's my thing. God gives us all gifts.
Yeah.
And maybe I maybe not have too many, but He did give me this one gift to help people. At least as long as we're on this planet, everybody needs to make a living. So He gave me this gift to help people make more money. I know that may sound shallow to some, but like I say again, as long as we're on this planet, it is something that it's important. And He gave me a gift to help people do that, and I do it pretty well, I think.
I think you do too. Man, really great to meet you. I can't wait to see what happens, the spread of 212 across the nation, not just Central Virginia.
Correct.
And then maybe even out of the borders of the contiguous U.S. states and Puerto Rico or something like that. I don't know. I know some people.
I heard something about that. I think so.
I know some people. But anyways, yeah, man. Wow, cool. So yeah, I'll see you at the All Hands in Rincon, Puerto Rico. It'll be great.
Sounds wonderful. John, thanks again for having me on your show.
Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you.